Hello there. For anybody that is here, I'm glad you were able to make it. This is our first of a series of webinars that we're going to do for moving companies. This particular webinar is going to be about strategizing for 2023. And I've got a few tidbits, a lot of information I want to share with you. We are going to be talking about setting goals in 2023, the big picture. We're going to have marketing channels you should be tapping into to maximize, those flows. We're going to talk about website optimization, some trends that you need to be looking at for important marketing trends. We're going to talk about developing a custom action plan. I've got some tools, some great templates to help you, a spreadsheet to help you figure out budgets, determine your KPIs, your key performance indicators, and how well you're tracking and achieving those outcomes. We're going to talk about creating a budget. We're going to talk about different channels, where you should put that money. We're going to talk about, we'll have a bit of a Q&A for sure, and some freebies. We've got the worksheet. We've got the workbook. I've got a photo shoot list. I've got keywords. I got, you name it. This is going to be jam-packed full of information. I recommend sticking around. And just before we get started, I just want to ask you guys if everybody can hear me. Let me know. I'm going to turn on audience tools here, that if you have anything or any questions, please go to this URL. I'm going to keep this up for a second, and I'll be able to see it as the questions come by. If you do it in chat, it won't be as helpful because the chat's kind of run by really quickly, and I'll miss them. Throw them in here, slides.app.go.gl/6mpk capital S. I'll just give you a second on that. And while we're doing that, if I could have your attention, please turn off your cell phones, turn off Facebook and chat. And if you're a moving company owner and you're serious about getting better results in the next 60 minutes, I think are going to be very, very impactful. I don't know about changing your life, but we'll try. Who am I and why should you listen to me? First off, I have been in this business, digital marketing, for over 20 years, but it's not the only thing I've done. Prior to that, I was a logistician for the Defense Department. And for 10 years, I worked at the Defense Department. I did warehousing, transportation. In the first Gulf War, I was part of the process of bringing all those containers back into the U.S. We did inventory management. So I crisscrossed the country going all these, what was the Defense Logistics Agency. I have been a speaker and mentor for small businesses for many years, worked with many different contractors like yourself over the years. Future author, hopefully this year, my goal is to have a book called The Complete Guide to Internet Marketing for Movers. We'll see if that happens. I am a Marine Corps wife and a Air Force daughter. I have moved every 2 to 3 years of my life since I was an infant. And it has been a part of who I am. I have had military moves. I've had personal moves with just friends in college. I've had commercial moves in state, down the street, across the country, across the state, you name it. I've had every kind of move imaginable. I have been not only on the government side of moves in logistician, I've been on the patron side of moves, packing, storage, you name it. I've done that. I have pretty good experience when it comes to this. I've also been I am a fractional CMO, a chief marketing officer for a couple of my clients, and a strategist. It's not just, I try and take from a big picture and I drill down. I'm a data person. I look at the numbers first before we make decisions, especially when it comes to digital marketing. In the past, digital marketing tend to be a little bit of gut feel. Did it work? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I like to look at the numbers. Nowadays, I can track a lot of things. That's kind of where I come from. Your 2023 digital marketing plan for moving companies. You don't mind, just again, let me know if you can see everything in the chat. Curious. If you can't, I probably need to adjust something here. Why now? Why plan? I know it's the beginning of the year. I get it. Why plan? If it was working last year, we'll just keep doing the same thing this year. Why do we even need goals? Why do we need to set KPIs? Why do we care? What's our why? And listen, I'm part of a military world. We're all very much, it's not a touchy-feely kind of thing. It's really hard for me as well to go from a why perspective. I do my job and I do it well. But there's a little bit of side to it that I've have to acquiesce to, and that is I do it, the why needs to be a little bit kind of bigger picture for, I want to do it for my family. I want to have a great home life. I want to bring my kids on really great vacations. And I want to, especially on my end, we have a kind of an international team. I want to be able to build and give back as much as I can to my own local community here in Houston, but also to other parts of the world where maybe we can help as well. But what's your why? Your why could be as simple as I want to hire more movers. Maybe it's I want to double my revenue and improve my profit. And you might have existential ideas, same as mine, is, well, I got to pay my mortgage. Or even bigger, I've got this dream vacation this year and I want to take my whole family on it. And those are kind of short-term goals for sure. But as you're looking in that 3 to 5 to 10 to 20 years, you do have to kind of look out, and you do have to have a bigger why on that. Do you love your job? What is your why? Do you want to expand to new regions? Maybe you've been very local and now you're going to kind of go statewide and maybe intrastate, maybe crossing into Canada. I don't know. What are your goals for this year? What is it that you would like to accomplish and why? And part of that is nailing that marketing. Maybe that's the thing that it has been missing. You can't really rely on a single source of income or a single source of leads. Referrals are great. Don't get me wrong. I love referrals. I would say about 40% of what I do comes from referrals. So I'm not going to think that it's not something that doesn't exist. If you lose a referral, like a realtor who might be retiring, then that might go half your leads. We don't want to completely rely on a single source of lead. If we don't plan, we fail to plan, you're not going to keep the phones ringing. You're not going to keep the crews working, and you're not going to keep the trucks moving. So let's think about that as we build out our 2023 marketing plan. You should have gotten this link in your emails to download the Moving Marketing Results, this annual workbook. It's got everything in there, and I'll show you in a second what that looks like. Actually, I might as well show you now. It looks like this, right? It's a workbook. Do me a favor. You can download it here. Click this button here, and you can download it. Put it on your own drive. And I would print this out and just physically fill in what you can here, right? Keep this close by, and we'll get to this. I've got a link here. You can open up the worksheet. We'll talk about that in a second. A lot of what I'm talking about in this strategy call goes into all of this now. Right? Go ahead and download that. The next would be to download or at least access the Google Sheet, which looks like this. Now, this is a Google Sheet. If you have a Google account, you're already logged in. All you need to do is hit File, make a copy, and you should be able to put this anywhere on your Google Drive. I would keep it somewhere in your marketing or your financial section of your Google Drive, or hit File, and you can download as a spreadsheet if you don't use Google Sheets. Now, again, we'll go through this. This is a great tool to help you figure out and create budgets. We'll get to that in a second. The importance of setting clear goals. What are your goals for 2023? If you aim at nothing, you will hit it every single time. Aim at something. Have some kind of goal. I'm sure you'll have all heard, no goals is like being out at sea, right? It's like having no boat with navigation. It's like you're going to end up somewhere, but essentially you're not going to end up where you need to be. There is no focus without clear goals. Actually physically writing down your goals are super important. And it's like having wind at your sails. It's like building on your plan will help you build some momentum. This is a current snapshot that I'd like you to think about. I think especially when you come in here, the very top here, you have a way of what I have just now, right now, as of the end of 2022, December, put down your annual revenue, your typical jobs that you ran on average per month, and then your average ticket value, your average conversion, number of trucks, number of drivers, and number of movers. Now, for 2023, we're going to do the same thing, but this will be future. This is where you'd like to be by the end of this year. Where would you like to be? Take some time. I'll give you 30 seconds to fill in what you have, and then we'll come back. I probably should have some music. Do, 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 do. And then if you're watching this on the replay, I'm probably going to just pause and we'll just kind of skip through this wait, and you can just pause the video. All right. Again, now let's go into that long-term vision. Go back in, fill it in for 2023, and I'll give you some time on that. And while you're doing this, think about the why. Back to that why. Why is it that why do you need more movers? Why do you need more trucks? Why do you need more sales and more staff? What's your average ticket? Why is it that that's important to you? I think from my end, having these KPIs and understanding the why is it helps me create either from internal business what needs to happen, what kind of systems, operations in place that I need, if I need to hire more drivers and I need to go from 2 to 5, how am I going to do that? And why do I need to do that? Do I just work longer hours? Do I need a better truck that can go further? These are all the kinds of things you want to think about. What are your goals for 2023? Let's kind of get those in there. Let's just say you have a goal of $100,000 a month on average, and your average ticket is $2,000. Then you need to do 50 jobs per month. If you're closing at 50%, then you need 100 leads per month to get those 50 paying jobs. If you are closing at 70%, which is friggin' amazing, then you need 85 leads per month. Now, I'm not going to spout off about all the importance of goal setting again. We've been through that already, but I've heard some, there's a story about Yale or Harvard studies, which actually turns out to be an untrue study about goal setting. Mark Murphy, I did a little research. I dug into this whole goal setting idea, and I said, Mark Murphy is the founder and CEO of Leadership IQ. He wrote a book called Hard Goals, The Secret to Getting from Where You Are to Where You Want to Be. And he went through years of research to find out, based on how our brain works, that we are wired as human beings to have goals for some reason. One important fact is that we tend to value things in the present moment. It's more important now, much more than things in the future. For most people, it's very hard to think in the future and things that you want to accomplish in the future. Setting goals is part of that process over time. It's getting from point A to point B and the instructions in life, how to get there. The goal you set in their 20s, though, right? When we were younger, those goals are very, very different than we are now. Just as we are running our businesses, the goal now might be different than the goal 3 years from now. Think about the 3-year, the 5-year, the 10-year goals that you want to accomplish. Let's just kind of quickly take a look at this again. It's going to go through this. We're going to have some year-end targets. We're going to have that total revenue, number of jobs per month. Just write this down. Keep this nearby after you fill this all out. Have your digital marketing strategy. And after every section here, as I go through this, write down some of your action items, the things that you want to accomplish under each of these sections. We have a website review. What are the 3 things that you're going to accomplish in terms of conversions? What are the 3 things you need to accomplish from an SEO perspective? Think about that. These are all very very specific to each section. You're going to have about 1 to 3 goals that you want to accomplish for every one of these. And as I'm going through these, you can kind of type these all out. The next is we're going to go through the leads, and let's look at that. Now, this is a fun exercise. Again, I'm all about the data. And I've always kind of struggled with this because I'm not a finance person. I have a bookkeeper, I have a CPA, but something like this is visual enough for me that it helps me understand, especially when I explain it to my clients when it comes to what should I spend? The question I always have with everybody is, what is your budget? How much do you need? How much should I spend on my marketing? Now, typically your percentage is about 8% on average is what you want to spend of your target market goal. Annual revenue goals, let's just say we want to get to 2.5 million by the end of the year. That would make a $208,333 on average per month is what you need to be making to reach that goal. Let's just say you have a $3,000 average ticket. That could be a move job, a packing job, a transfer, whatever that is. On average, you have a $3,000. You might have different tiers of that, but let's just for simplistic sake, $3,000. That would require you to hit a monthly goal of 69 clients. Now, do you have the employee and the staff to hit that? If not, that's something you have to think about in the next few months of how you're going to achieve doing 69 jobs. Let's say you have a 25% rate from these leads. You convert 25% of the people that come in from a lead. That would mean you would need 278 leads on average per month. Is that happening? You can adjust these figures. Let's just say, we're going to do 1.5 million, right? Well, then obviously that brings us down, number of leads to 167. If we have a $3,000 average ticket, but let's just say our average ticket is $2,500. Well, that changes that to 50 and that changes that to 200. Now, if we come over here into the budget allocation side, it's pulling in that same number that you projected out for this year, your annual projected revenue. Now we're breaking this down into the different types of marketing budgets. Like I said, 8% is a rule of thumb for a typical marketing budget. 15% would be really aggressive. And 3% is conservative. Let's just kind of go with like a 5%. Let's just assume 5%. Well, to get 1.5 million, you would have to spend $75,000 per annual to get to the 1.5 million at a 5% budget. Now, average budget makes that $6,250. Now, you're not going to just throw $6,000 at somebody and hope and pray that that's exactly what you need. No. We're going to further break this down into how much of your budget's going to be spent on online, how much will be spent offline, like billboards, direct mail, TV ads. And then let's just say I put 0, but if we put maybe 5% here and we'll do 25% here, and you can see that it adjusts these numbers. According to this, if we put 70% of our budget into online marketing, like paid ads, SEO, social media, then we would spend $52,000 total for the year on online marketing. That helps your budget. It helps you figure out what can I afford. And again, it's levers. Where do we need to adjust? This could be 50%, right? Obviously, that's not 100% right now. We have to adjust that. Now, even further, we break it down by month. On average, an online marketing, we have 50% budget. We would expect to spend $3,000 on average per month on online marketing. Let's say 75. Let's just put this back at 70, right? Or we do $4,375 on online marketing, $1,500 for offline marketing, and we have a reserve for $300 for repeat business. And those are things like promotions for family and friends, calling maybe your referral network. It's up to you how you want to break it out, but if you have a BNI or a kind of a networking group that you belong to, I don't know, is that repeat business or is that offline? It's up to you, but you define it as you see fit. And now we've kind of come to some average leads. I've even incorporated a marketing calendar for you guys. I've even got in like deep dive into what every month you might want to discuss. I would put together some type of topic, and I've already done this for you for moving. I've done one for packing, and I've done one for storage. Feel free to take this as you see fit. Go ahead, go for it. But I recommend keep making it your own. If you're, here in the South, it's always a balmy 70 degrees. We have some cold snaps, but we have pretty much year round. There's really no reason to not be moving. If you're up north, you might have a little bit more of a difficult time. People may not want to be moving in the middle of January. You might adjust this. You might have more long storage, and most of your money might be spent. Most of your revenue kind of comes in the summer, and in the January, you kind of shoot off into other different types of services to compensate for the lack of people moving during that time. All right, that's something to look at. This is really, really important that you take some time and fill this out. It will help you in the long run to figure out what lever you need to pull as I move on in this area here. All right, so we are about 20 minutes into this right now. I'm going to keep going. We'll have a break in a second, but your marketing strategy. Let's moving along and see kind of what next steps you need to take. Now that you've set some goals, and let's talk about some of the strategies that you need to take to achieve those goals. If you already know what you're going to do, great. Like I said, just want to document that. Maybe it's your website. You realize you're just not getting enough leads. Your forms aren't working. Do you know what's happening with your website? When was the last time you looked at your analytics? Are you keeping a database of your clients? There's all kinds of things to check off and double check that that's what's occurring. You don't want to just kind of just leave it. Like, I've had clients that will build a website and never touch it. You cannot assume that just because you have a website, that's all you need to do. That is like the beginning of the story. You have to keep implementing new strategies, trying out different things, what's working, what's not working, and see what is the best fit for your company and your brand. There's no right answer. And I know you don't want to hear that. You want an answer. You want to know, okay, if you spend this many dollars here, you're going to get this many leads over here. That's not how that works. Your company and your sales process and your location and your region and your target market is going to have its own set of parameters. And each one of those are going to adjust kind of leads and how you convert those leads. Now, this is our accelerated growth model. We've got let's start with what is driving your leads. These channels will drive leads. Your SEO, paid search, database of emails and leads, cold leads possibly. Maybe you've got a cold lead of recent home sales. Cold leads like that. Maybe you have cold calls you might want to do. Converting those leads is a whole other thing. You need a good website that converts those leads. You need very special calls to action, buttons, links, phone numbers, estimate requests. You want to have a good reputation. You want, as movers, that reputation is gold. And you want to do whatever you can to keep that reputation up. It's okay if you get 1 or 2 stars. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. But address them, reply to them, tell them, hey, we're sorry you had this experience. Please give us a call. We'd love to rectify whatever. But it gets a little iffy when you have 5 stars. You're like, really? Not one person out of all the years, nobody was unhappy? It just looks iffy. If you have like a 4.6 to 4.8, that's fine. You're fine. Lastly, you want to automate your follow-ups and maybe some texting. People want to communicate by text, chat more than anything. This helps you see. Now, this is going to visually help you see from 9 clear steps to maybe double your sales. I'm looking at this from an omnipresence approach. I want, from a minimum, from a branding perspective, if I Google your company name, you should dominate that page. You should dominate in the results. You should dominate in the ads. You should dominate in the Google business profiles, the map here. Is that happening? That's minimum standards. Then we can start talking about keywords and keywords. The accelerated growth map. This is just a little bit deep dive picture of that first one that I was showing you. We've got driving leads. What's driving leads are organic search, paid ads, and that database of emails that you've somehow collected, whether that's through a network that you've built out. Then we have a maximizing those conversions, and that would be your website, reputation management, and some automation that's going to happen. And then we have to optimize those results, the total spend, get clear on how much you want to invest, your growth targets without guessing or overspending on that. You want average cost per lead, know exactly how much you're investing per lead for your services without some complicated reports or calculations. You should have these numbers on a whiteboard somewhere that you see all the time. You walk in the office and boop, they're right there. You should not be missing that. And then making sure that you're returning on investment. This is what I'm talking about, optimizing optimizing those results. Total spend, managing that budget, managing that average cost per lead, and looking at that return on investment. You have more people. Every time you want to ratchet it up, then you have to continue to spend incrementally more as you continue to go up in revenue streams. You have more people, more capital, more potential, and you need to incrementally increase your investment and marketing spend. Average cost per lead might adjust as your seasons change, as I talked about earlier, between different parts of your business. But just be very clear what those numbers are. You should be able to rattle those off. The digital dominance method. This is another graphic that all of us marketers just love to share. Going through each section 1 through 8. We've got your foundation, strong service, on-page optimization. I'm not going to read every one of these. You can see these. You got paid ads, which could be Google local ads, which would show up in the map, Bing search. We've got retargeting. Don't forget retargeting. People tend to forget that part. People come to your website and they start seeing your ads everywhere. That's Google, LinkedIn, Facebook. Paid online directories. That could be Angie's List, Yellow Pages, Chamber. If you belong to any membership chamber sites. Repeats and referrals. That could be email marketing, social media, thank you cards, text messages. Pay per lead. That could be moving leads, Google's local search ads. That's the ads in the very, very tippy top of the search. And companies like Angie, which is now owned by Home Advisor. Multimedia, live video. Don't forget, people love video. They love to see you in action. Podcasts are fine too. Webinars. Who knew? Shorts and reels. We've got the last part would be a sales program. So we want to have maybe some gift cards, maybe a newsletter, a rewards program. Maybe, hey, refer us to your friends and family and get, some money, a gift card back. This is just that digital dominance method. These are all the things that you can think about when building out your online marketing. Okay, now let's get into the meat of this. This is your website. Is your website optimized for conversions? Your website is your hub. You're going to have multiple people coming into your website from all different angles. Excuse me, I have to fix something here. Okay, sorry. How is your website working for you? What is the last time you looked at your analytics? Have you set up any internal goals within your analytics? You can see how many phone calls, how many people clicked the phone number, how many people filled out the estimate request, how many shopped and did some bought packing supplies from you. Do you have all of those elements needed to capture leads in all these different directions? Forms, phone numbers, logo, branding, social proof, call to action buttons, team photos. This brings your business to life. One thing that you have to remember, please stop using stock photos. It's fine if you're a brand new company and you don't have photos yet. It's fine. I get it. But you have to start building out and creating photos that are branded for your business. We'll talk about in a second. At the very end of this, I'll give you a link to a photo shoot list. Why is conversion so important? We've got two scenarios here. 100% leads per month. Let's just assume 2 of them. 5% conversion versus second scenario, we got 25%. It's all great if I'm sending you leads like crazy. Whoop-de-doo. But if you're not converting on the other end, we have a problem because you're spending a lot of money to get people to you, but we're not spending enough time and processes and money to convert them. 5% versus a 25% can be a very, very big difference, almost triple your leads and revenue if you're not doing it right. How do we optimize for conversion? All of this is meant to bring you through to get that call. Paid ads, SEO, social, all the things that have to happen in between somebody hearing of you the first time. Don't forget, you have to have a 7-point touch system. Goes back to that omnipresence. 7 points. They saw your Facebook ad, they saw your Google, they looked you up on Google Business and Map, a friend referred you on Facebook, they found your website, they left, then they saw a remarketing campaign, they may have gotten an email. All of that has to happen. Not all the time. Sometimes it's once, sometimes it's twice, because sometimes you're going to get some people that show up, I need to move tomorrow, right? And it's up to you if that's the kind of clientele you want, which is another conversation when it comes to qualifying people. But if you're bringing these leads in, we want to make sure we've got the right kinds of leads. Let's just kind of stop here for a second. We're going to just ask you to let me know if you've got any concerns, any questions that you might have. What have you learned so far? What have you noticed in your own marketing you'd like to share? And what would you like to share? Let's not forget, you want to download the Ultimate Internet Marketing Checklist. If you haven't done so yet, go to this link and you will be able to download this checklist, because everything that I'm going to be talking about from here on out basically comes from this checklist. I'm just going to get more in depth during this webinar. We've got 12 critical elements to enhance your conversions. This is based on your overall. Speak to your target avatar. What are their fears? What are their frustrations? And why should they choose you? This is one thing people forget. Think about the people that you want to work with the most. Is it mostly women who tend to be the ones at home who are doing the organizing, calling for the moves? That's fine. But just be very clear in who that demographic is. What is their household income? Where are they located? Are you doing apartments? Are you doing condos? Are you doing single family homes? Are you doing office moves? Are you doing large commercial moves? Who is that target market? Property manager, housewife, whoever that is. Be clear on who that is. And it might be 2 or 3 different people. That's fine too. But who is that target avatar? I need you to make sure you use very authentic images. This goes back to my discussion about stock photos. It's fine if you just started, maybe your first year in business, but you need to start replacing those out with some really good photos of you, your team, your trucks, your t-shirts, your hats, the branded trucks, the wrapped trucks, all of that stuff need to be incorporated into your branding, your website, your social media. It is super imperative from an authentic point of view nowadays. People are looking for real businesses. And if it looks like you've got stock photos, it's a trust issue at that point. Do you just fly by night kind of things? Think about that. I recommend one round of a professional photographer who gets super clear, very nice photos of you, your team at work, packing, storing, transporting, whatever that is. And then we've got, sorry, that was my daughter. Then we've got another round where you actually whip out your phone. You can have yourself, your secretary, somebody like that who kind of comes out and just on the whim, take some photos. And with cameras nowadays, it's pretty amazing what they can do. This is going to be crucial when it comes to your social media. You can't hire out social media. Yes, I can share your blog posts on an infinitum round for over the next year automatically. That's fine. But that's such a small percent of the social media. Having authentic image is going to be a huge boost to your brand. Moving on. Multimedia. Website welcome video. You need something on that website that welcomes people. Videos for each of your moving surfaces. A video for moving, packing, transportation, maybe office moves, maybe single family home moves, maybe condo moves, whatever, right? You get my drift. Video explaining why someone should contact you versus the competition. What makes you special? There's a lot of movers out there. I could probably call 5 different companies and get very similar quotes. The difference is how am I going to decide as a consumer? You can't call it quality. You can't say quality is we do great packing or, talk about maybe the percentage of claims are super low and show that number. Maybe it's your reviews, right? You could have these reviews showing on your website, how people talk about how it was efficient. Everything showed up on time. They were respectful of your property. Some people call it white glove, right? They show up with the t-shirts are clean, right? Where the trucks are clean, the inside of the trucks have been swept out, right? There's just those little things make a difference when it comes to you versus your competition. Leverage that social proof. Showcase those online reviews prominently on the homepage. Like it should be the very, very top as much as possible on every page, and have a process in place. For movers, this is essential. Every move you do, you need to immediately send out a review request. Whether you do it right then and there when they sign off, you can give them a little business card that says it really helps us to have a review. You could do some kind of incentive for the review. You could, we'll give you a Starbucks gift card or a Target $20 gift card. I don't know, whatever it's worth it to you to get a review, think about that. But just make sure that you're managing it, you're responding to everybody. Get the basics in order. Get that phone number on the right-hand side. Ensure that there is a web form that customers can fill out. Add credibility with authority symbols, Better Business Bureau, Angie's, whatever is, maybe the associations that you might belong to in the moving industry, put those in there. All right, another round. Number 6, ensure you have clear calls to action. We talked about that earlier on every single page. Speak to that customer avatar. Tell them exactly what to do next. Do not think they know. If I come to a site, I got to search for a phone number. I got to search for an estimate request. And you've already bugged me. Give that to me right up front. Use special offers, coupons that match the service they're in need of. If there's maybe packing, you could offer them a free, I don't know, let's see, I want to say kitchen, but that's a huge heavy load. Something, free 2-bedroom packing if you buy XXX, right? Or if you have a long-term storage need, if you buy 6 months, we'll give you the first month free or something like that. Special offers. Make sure your website's mobile optimized. And I'm not talking about being responsive. Yes, every website by now should all be responsive. If yours is not, we have a bigger problem, but everyone should be responsive. The difference is when it's responsive, I need to have right there on that button, call now. I don't know if I'd recommend filling out the form. If you're going to have a form, just make sure it's really easy to fill out. Don't have a bunch of areas where it's text messages. I don't know if I would have a next page. How sometimes you hit next and then a second form pops up. On a mobile device, I find that people get a little frustrated with that. On a mobile, maybe streamline it a little bit more, but you do want to make sure, I think I get to this in a second. Well, leveraging live chat, give clients the option to book online, which is something I want to get into a little bit here. So you want to have a form that qualifies people. If you are not doing apartment moves, you want to have the type of service as a drop down: office moves, single family homes, townhouse. You might have those 3. or you might have all 5, 10 services that you might be doing for international, local, whatever. But at least when somebody fills this out, you know who they are and what they need. You want to have the when is your move? If it's tomorrow, maybe you can just, hey, we're booked up tomorrow. Now, this is not meant to disqualify everybody. This is meant for you to understand who they are when you pick up the phone immediately. I know it bothers me when I spent time filling out a form and someone calls and says, okay, so what do you need? And you're like, why did I even bother filling out the form? You've already bugged me. Now, I've had some clients that do this. They do have, if you fill out certain criteria, you go immediately to the book online. Now, with moving industry, you can have virtual moves and in-person moves. We've set it up where both of those can be optimized right then and there. They can book an estimate, a physical person coming out themselves or virtually. They can have that choice. The other side of it is if they fill out that form and there's some pieces in there that you as the moving company owner don't want, you could still go to the thank you page and maybe have a little bit of a video or some kind of descriptions like this is just not who we are. We don't work. Or maybe you're only local only. Someone says, okay, I want to go from Houston to Birmingham, Alabama. I'm like, that's not what we do. And you could have a thank you page that says just that. The site speed matters, performance of your site. If it's too slow, it'll impact. Engage, do some social media, do some text messaging and phone via marketing automation. Take advantage of what's out there right now so that you can leverage the technology. All right, be real, be authentic, show your team, show your equipment, and fulfill that branding message. Personalize the business as much as possible. Add team photos, add pictures of the owners, add crew leaders, add the staff, who's picking up the phone, who's coming out, who's the sales staff. Have these pictures on there. It shows that you are an active business growing and you're engaged with the community. This was a softball game, right? Share that. You're a team. Host your videos on YouTube. If you're doing any kind of video marketing, host them on YouTube, embed them on your website, and take advantage of that cross-pollination of leads and followers and engagement. Don't try to upload it directly to the website. You're going to cause some performance issues. Leverage those reviews. Okay, these guys are doing great. Should be recent. Try not to have things that are like 10 years old. We get some reviews that haven't had a review in 5 years, right? We don't want that. We want 2 months, 3 months, last week, yesterday. We don't want old reviews. It just means either you're not asking or maybe people just aren't thinking about it. They just leave and it wasn't as impactful. They didn't quite get the messaging from you, but always be asking for reviews. Leverage live chat, like I mentioned earlier. Again, is your website mobile friendly? Is it actually have the kind of engaging buttons on there that are big, very clear, do this, do that? 4.8 billion people now own mobile phones, right? Pretty much. Well, I mean, it makes it sound like there's people who don't, but there are, maybe some don't, but I would assume most people do, especially in the US. 3 out of 5 consumers search for local businesses on their smartphone. Yeah, just be clear, right? 3 out of 5 consumers, right? Just have that in the back of your mind. I talked to one business owner and they said that they only want to show up for mobile. Well, you can't do that either. You have to have mobile and desktop. Now, iPads, I get it. But when I look at data, most of it, it's like, it's so low. But anyway, your website's going to be responsive anyway. But just the point is that just being clear that have a very mobile site. 40% of mobile users turn to a competitor site if they had a bad mobile web user experience. Just have that in the back of your mind. This is a screenshot of the checklist. Pretty much everything I've said is in that checklist. Make sure you go through that. Make sure you have that checklist next to you as you're coming up with your goals and your strategies. Is your website optimized for search? Question is, does SEO still matter? Yes, it does. Yes, we found out with heat maps, generally following the industry, 71% of clicks are coming from Google Maps and website URLs. This is that organic section that we have here. 67% of that 71%, 67% go to the top 5. So yes, search is really, really important. You cannot rely on paid ads alone. You cannot rely on referrals alone. You cannot rely on social media. What is the key ingredient to a local SEO and authority building? EAT: experience, expertise, authority, trust. That is what builds out a local SEO program. Everything I've talked to you before about the website applies here, but now we're going to take it to the next level. And I'm not going to read every one of these. Again, that's on the checklist. Experience, expertise, authority, and trust. We have on page. You have to have a page for every service, optimized titles, H1. You have a what we call a style and an organization to your content. So H1, every page has an H1, H2s, URLs. Your images have to have the right file names with the right image alt tags, unique content for all of your pages. You can't have a moving services page and have one paragraph about moving, one paragraph packing, one paragraph about storing. You practically have to have content for almost each type of search. Google My Business. Claim and optimize your maps. Add Yext. You have to make sure you have to have an address, a physical address, not a home address, not a PO box. You have to have a physical address, and it's getting harder and harder. If you think you can game the system, it's getting very, very hard to do that. You have to have it. We've had Google Business Profile where Google will call, get you on a FaceTime and walk around to show the signs, show the trucks, literally get in the trucks, turn the trucks on. You have to have a physical location. That address needs to be exactly the same across the internet. One of the things we have to do is go through a major data aggregation, make sure they all match. And I'm not talking about road, ROAD versus RD. If you have an address with those two very different, very small changes to Google, it's not the same address. Crazy, I know. Put a system in place to drive online reviews, add new citations. This is why you'll find people joining the chamber just to get a link back from the chamber. Ongoing content, you have to be publishing. We might build you a 10-page website, but if you don't touch it for 10 months or a year or 6 months, it's just literally not doing a whole lot for you. You have to be driving content on a regular basis, new blog posts, and you have to be able to kind of syndicate that blog post. You can't assume you've written it. Now there's nothing to do. You have to syndicate it, throw it on Twitter, put it on your Instagram, share it on Facebook, throw out an email marketing campaign with the same content. Again, signals, part of this local SEO concept is signals. What is everybody saying about you? And are we getting the right kind of links back to your website? So again, if we share this on Twitter, it's a link back from Twitter to your website. And again, the signals are about that expertise, authority, trust, multiple do follow links. This is getting a little technical, but back to the client's websites, back to your map. We want to post all your content, products, and services on your Google business page. Link back to the website, fresh content. Does your website come up on search? Does it at all? Now, at minimum, if I Google your company name, does it come up at all? That's a problem. If I Google your company and either another company with a similar name or you don't come up at all, except maybe a BBB reference, a Better Business Bureau, or maybe a Yelp reference, but your website is nowhere, we have a problem. We have a bigger problem than anything else. That's the first thing you have to address. But does your website come up in search? And for what kind of key phrases, if any at all? Strong website, good content, good user experience. That's what Google's looking for. So you have to marry user interface with the right kind of keywords. It has to be helpful content either. It can't just be a garbled mess of keywords thrust in there and really no coherent information. Google can read your website. Are people sticking around? Are they actually reading it? Are they sharing it? Is your website becoming an authority because people find that, oh, they've got really good content on there. They've got a great checklist. They've got really good information about how I should pack for my military move. And if people are going to that, that's a signal of authority about your website. Leverage multimedia. Like I said, get some videos in there, get those reviews in there. Pages for every service, a packing page, a moving page, a transportation page, a moving apartment page, packing apartment page. I mean, that it goes on. Now you extend that out to every city. Your city, maybe some communities. Here in Houston, we have Bel Air, it's kind of that high-end fancy community. We'll create pages for that. If that's who you want to target. Maybe there's an apartment complex community, right? We have one of those in Houston where there's just a bunch of apartments and condos and townhouses in the heart of Houston. Well, they've got their own zip code, so we want to target that group. Unique content, nearby now, to pass heat map data. So, when you have a heat map in Google, are people in this very local area finding you in the map? Unique content on every page, keyword in the title and the H1, meta descriptions that sell the click. That meta description, people just want to put a little, just like the first two sentences of the page. That meta description is your opportunity to sell it. It's an ad. The title helps people visually see, that's representative of the keyword that I was searching for. Underneath that is a meta description. Sometimes Google uses what they feel like is the best one. But properly, you should put a meta description in there. And it should be along the lines of learn more about how we can make your move smooth. It's not, we do packing and moving for homes. That's not, well, I would hope so, right? It's obvious. So, but how can we leverage that meta description? Name, address, phone number in the footer. Yes, the footer needs to have your phone, your name, your address, a link to the contact page. The contact page will then repeat that. What are your hours? Do you work weekends? Are you national? Are you local? Do you do international moves? What does that look like? Blog. I know blogging is not dead. Blogging is about answering questions. How do I pack my kids' room? How do I pack a garage? What should I prepare for in an office move? That's content that you need to be sharing with your clients. Focus on page speed. Page speed is very, very important. It is one of those ranking out, part of that indicator as to whether or not Google's going to rank you. Is your site properly optimized? Title tags, H1, H2, H3, geotagged images with alt tags. Yeah, that's another level. There's ways to that's why I really like when people take pictures with their phone. That photo will geotag location within the meta of that photo. And then if we upload it into your Google business account and your website, that meta is being found by the bots. It's really, really great for a local optimization. And then, try and adhere to a 1,500 word policy on service pages. When it comes to a blog, it really depends on, are you answering the question? You might have what we call a pillar post, which is like this massive blog post. And it's almost like this is our mea culpa. This is who we are. This is what we represent. Could be the massive checklist, right? How to prepare for your next move. After that, it's just answering questions like I mentioned earlier. What's the best way to pack my garage? What's the best way to pack my special tools? All right, little data here. SEO leads are the lowest cost per lead and the highest close rate in any online lead you can get. It takes a while to get to the top, but it's worth it. You can see there's $9 average cost per lead, 367 leads. We had a $3,000 investment. Dividing that, you get $9. Now you can see we had 1,100 searches, 329 phone calls, 2 web forms filled out, 36 people came in from the Google business profile, and we had 1,300 organic sessions. Data is really, really important, but you can see how cheap it is when you have organic search. The other thing about organic search is, unlike paid search, paid is you turn it on and you turn it off. You turn it on, you get leads, you turn it off, it stops. You stop showing up. Organic, it takes a while. This isn't going to happen in 30 days. It might take 6 months, it might take a year, but it's not like you stop paying and you just go away. Now, on the flip side with SEO, Google's always updating their algorithm, always. What are you going to do to maintain your website, to keep up with all of Google's changes? Most of the time, if you just have really good content and a really good website, you should be good. Looking at some real life examples here. So this is clear content, interesting elements to keep you engaged. We've got an H1 tag here. We've got H2 tag. We've got great content. We've got some interesting elements at the bottom here, some visually, beds, dressers, couches, boxes, and more, right? Planning and logistics, packing, movies. It's interesting elements. We've got a page for every service: home movers, storage service, packing, office movers. Here's another example where we've got specific locations, and this is a home remodel example, but each page has a location. Now, I did do some research for you. You might be able to use this for your SEO. If you click links, movingmarketingresults.com keyword list, you should be able to get this. Let me click it open here and see what it looks like. Again, I've done the work for you. I've done an average monthly search volume in the US. All you have to do is hit file, make a copy. It's yours. I've got about, how many did I put in here? Almost 143. Now, do your own research. Use tools like SEMrush. Find out what is going on in your specific area and do your own research, but I've given you a head start here. Some off-page stuff. On page, we just talked about, we got to talk about off page. Claim and optimize that Google business profile listing. You need to get some citations back to the website. That's things like a Better Business Bureau link, Yelp links, Yellow Pages, Bing. These are citations all over the internet that have gotten your address and your phone number and your website. You just need to make sure that they're consistent and you just keep creating more. Build up online reviews. We talked about that. Backlinks. Build authoritative links back to your website from other websites. If you try and get links back to your website, don't go to like Mama's Knitting and get a link back from moving services. That's not, that authority it's just not going to match. You want to find websites that are talking about packing, moving, home organization, military moves, whatever your service is, whatever that topic is, and then link back to your site. You can't just willy-nilly just find any blog and link back. It's not going to work. And you need to have a strategic content syndication. That means press releases need to be posted on a regular basis. You need to post those press releases on things like Reddit, Quora, Twitter. All those things have to come in play when you're talking about offsite SEO. Building links and authority. Once the pages are built and optimized, it's links to the page that determines the placement. More than 70% of the battle in SEO is getting links back to your site. Who has the most quality links wins. Do Google Maps matter? Yes. 45% of all clicks come from those Google Maps. Yes, Google Maps do matter. This is that list I was telling you about. 790, here's a just real life example here. 790 clicks to the website, 338 clicks, 302 clicks. This is 3 different websites and 3 different Google business profiles or maps linking back, clicking back to the website. And this is, I believe, was it January through May, January, February, March, April, May. Yeah, about 5 months worth. All right, taking a break. What'd you learn? What'd you notice? What would you like to share? All right, and we're back. Are you taking advantage of paid marketing opportunities? So we've got 2 opportunities on Google. One at the very top is the hyperlocal, well, I should say pay per lead. And then below that are the paid ads, the Google ads. Paid marketing opportunities, you've got 200. Here's just a scenario. If you're thinking about doing some paid ads, let me go back here for a second. I had here discuss local, you need to get, yeah. Oh, just a little bit about those local ads. It's a little harder than you think to get those local ads. You have to have some things in place like insurance. You have to show proof of insurance and you have to fill out an application to get shown up here. So not everybody's going to show up. It is a bit of a process. I've heard some really good things about it. I would look into it. Then you've got your Google ads, PPC, local service ads is what they're called, LSAs on Google, paid Angie's List. paid Yelp, paid Yellow Pages. Those are just some different, Bing, Facebook ads. Those are just different opportunities to do some paid ads. Now let's look at an opportunities from an ROI standpoint. So 224 leads per month, 15% conversion. You're looking at about 33 booked jobs. Averaging 1,500 moves. You're looking at $49,500 revenue. Keep on going down. If you're take out, let's just say you spent $10,000 on your ad for that month, you're looking at 395% ROI on that. If you spent 10,000, but you got back, but you were able to gain 39,000, it's a pretty good ROI. Why most pay-per-click campaigns fail? Set up only one ad group for all your services. I've gone into paid ads and I've seen things like they'll have moving services, or let's just say they'll have home moves, apartment moves, all in one ad group. But you want to send home moves to home move page and apartment moves to apartment move page. Don't use specific text. They don't use specific text ads and landing pages. Just like I was saying, you want to go to the right. If I'm searching for a thing, don't make me hunt for it later. If I search for apartment moves, send me to the apartment moves page. No strong calls to action. If you have just, we do apartment moves and nothing else is on there, you're going to lose that opportunity. Make sure that landing page is optimized for paid ads. And it's okay to have a landing page separate from your whole website. It's nowhere on the navigation. It's not getting indexed by Google. You can separate that out and really fill it like really massively with, reviews and calls to action and a form. And, maybe you can offer a quick estimate request right then and there. So, and that would be a great conversion tool. No call to action. Maybe you don't take advantage of the add-ons and extensions. Here's an example. I was about ready to show my hands. People don't add up the extensions, free requests, reviews, services offers, get a quote, and they forget to put the imagery in there to show people at work, like I was mentioning before, that branding experience. This is the Google local service ads. Are you optimizing? Are you taking advantage of that? And one added, to go back to that for a second, you have to have 5 Google reviews to get certified to do this. Proof of insurance. If it's not managed properly, these ads can go away. This is not something, it's a set it and just turn it on and walk away. And there's that list again. Is your foundation strong? From a full perspective search, is your foundation strong? Search engines, are you looking at SEO, map lists, paid ads? Are you doing social media, online directories, paid lead services? These are all the big picture stuff. Of that budget we talked about and before, where are you going to leverage each one of these? Where are you going to put your money on? Are you active on social media, right? You find out where they are, find out where they're hanging out. A lot of them are Facebook, a lot of them are Instagram. Think about also generations. You might even look into TikTok, do some 30-second, 1-minute TikTok videos. Have fun, give your staff the opportunity to have fun as well. You as the business owner you do not need to be the only one. Some stats, 1.6 billion users, average user has 135 friends, which I think that's old data. I'll have to double check on that. They actually check in 6 or 9 times per day, which means for you can't have one post this week and then 3 weeks later do another post. You need to be strategic about your social media. For us, we write a blog once a month, but we don't share the blog one time. We share it multiple times over the next 6 months. Because as you're scrolling on social media, there it goes. That half a second went right by. If you share it 2 days later at 2:00, somebody might see it. And if you share it a week later at 5:00, 2 months later, 4 months later, you have more eyeballs see it. We're sending them back to the website too. This isn't social media. There's only so much we can do from our end. Social media is not, I don't recommend outsourcing social media, especially from movers. You want to give the opportunity to somebody on your team to be your social media person. And I'm not you don't have to have them strategize all that. That we can help you with, but somebody needs to be responsible for taking photos, some short videos, talking on video, reminding people about different opportunities for holidays, and tips and tricks, maybe some conflict that happened that you were able to solve. That's not going to come from an outsourced social media person. You have to have an internal day-to-day conversation with somebody. That's, what are we going to post today? Organic is the best, just on the fly, but mixing in with some strategy of your blogs and videos. So, all right, more repeat business, more referrals. Email marketing. You're leveraging email marketing and automation. Send an email after every service call requesting a review. That should be automated. Send an email a few days after a service asking them to engage on social media. Send out a monthly email newsletter. Remain top of mind. Drive more repeat traffic. It's not just those leads too. The people that converted and made that phone call, what are you doing to follow up? Do you have a database of CRM like Move It Pro or Smart Moving? You need to utilize it more than just for estimates. You need to be collecting and curating this list. You need to be sharing your knowledge, being a helpful steward of people moving, blog posts, events, at least once a month. Connect your website to a tool, some kind of CRM, whether that's Salesforce, HubSpot, ActiveCampaign, Go High Level, whatever that tool is. Your website should be connected, and you should be regularly using email and automation you should be leveraging that to get more of that data. Are you sending direct mail? This is a little bit off topic when it comes to your online, but I want to stick this in here really quick because I've seen it work. Direct mail, whether that's letters or postcards. And I'm not talking about one letter, one time to one person that just sold their home. I'm talking about 1, 2, 3 letters and a postcard. What are you doing to leverage the direct mail? You should be having a list of the most recent home sales, and you should be using that list on a regular basis. Targeting top zip codes. Sort by income range, value of home, proximity. Send a monthly postcard or letter or flyer to remain top of mind. Again, a little bit like your email marketing. Place your yard sign out on each job with your phone number. Have that phone number clearly read, QR on the code. Leave them on the yard for as long as you possibly can. And just kind of do what you can to get that brand message out there. All right, let's take another break. What'd you learn? What have you noticed in your own marketing? And what would you like to share? I can see we've got one person is asking about how can I leverage should I hire interns to do social media? It depends. If you want to have a college intern come in and do your social media, I would recommend that they come into your office. This isn't something you can do remotely. They need to come in. I would give them a KPI of like 3 posts a week. Maybe they go to one of your actual moves and they take some photos. Maybe it's one of your movers. Ask one of your movers too. They might be happy to take some photos and share. Or we've got one client that the movers they upload photos to a particular Google Drive, Dropbox, and then somebody in the office shares that. Hiring interns is a great idea, especially if somebody's an intern and they are trying to get into the marketing business. You could do that. Some of the biggest marketing issues facing moving companies, from what I can see, what happens a lot, and what I've seen a lot, is lead flow isn't the problem, right? You got all kinds of places to get leads. You could just pump all kinds of money into it, right? You just throw that money away, get those leads. The problem is the leads aren't converting. What are we doing about the people that do call and nobody answers that phone? We had a client that very same problem. We had paid ads going in, and I would look at the phone calls and I could see that they were getting calls, but 30% of those calls were going unanswered. They were going straight to voicemail. I just feel that if you are going to spend money on ads, I would hire a call service, an answering service, and have somebody physically answer the phone. 10 o'clock, 9 p.m., 6 a.m. You never know when somebody's going to call. I would take that opportunity, have somebody there to answer the phone no matter what. I would not leave it up to a voicemail. So, because that leads things on the table. You've spent money, sent them to your site, they made the phone call, and now they got a voicemail. So just think about that. 90% of web forms fail to convert as well. People forget because maybe it's not connected to any kind of CRM. It sits in somebody's inbox. Be careful about that. Leads that are not followed up within 15 minutes go cold. And you know that in the moving world. If you don't call immediately, you may have lost the business already, or you're already competing with somebody else. On average, only about 2% of the sales are made during the first contact, right? Somebody calls you, and some of them are, I need to move tomorrow, right? And if you can do it tomorrow, then they'll hire you, right? Money's no object, some of them. But on the other hand, you got most of them are saying, I'm just sold my house. I got to move out in a month. Or I am selling my house. What is your timeline? That means if you don't follow up, even if it's a simple follow-up email, you're going to be missing on potentially 98% of those leads. Today's consumer prefers to interact via text messages, phone calls, or email. You have to leverage all three of those. Leverage your marketing automation. Follow up with web forms within about the first 2 minutes of that submission. I see it. I fill out a form. I get no response back. I don't even know if you got my form. That's the most frustrating thing. You want to have the person fills out the form, a landing page, give them an extra thing to do. Maybe it's schedule a call that's convenient for them. Maybe a little video from you that says, hey, we're so excited. Give us a couple minutes. We're going to return that call, right? And do that in 2 minutes. They should get a receipt on the email. Hey, we got it. We got your receipt for an estimate request. Our team is looking in it. We'll give you a call right away. In the meantime, why don't you download our ultimate move checklist? Blah, blah, blah. Give them value like instantly. Automate that follow-up so that every prospect is touched 5 times. Now, you can do that through a text message that says, we got your form. We'll be calling you right away. An email with the download the checklist, prep for your next move, the phone call, a follow-up email after the phone call, and then maybe an extra piece of content that helps them prep of some kind. Hey, our guy's coming out, give you a full-blown review, or great, here's the estimate to move your house, move your apartment. And now you got a whole series of emails after that. Now, these are just the numbers here, right? 2 scenarios, both of them, 100 leads, 5% conversion, 25%. Lots of money gets left on that table. Bringing you leads is great. Converting them is another thing. Where are you lacking? What lever do we need to pull? Do we need more leads in? Like you're just not getting enough leads, or you're getting plenty of leads. You don't have a process at the other end to get the sale. What's happening? Do you have those tools in place to track your ROI? Like I mentioned, all these leads are coming in. Do you know how many leads are coming in? At what point did the drop off happen? Did they call and you called them back the next day? And what happened? Did you call and you call back in 10 minutes, but you didn't follow up? Where is this breaking down? How are you tracking what's happening, where your money is being spent? Watch traffic trends with your Google Analytics. You need to be going your analytics. Where are people coming from? Track your online ranking. Am I showing up on Google? Consider call tracking methods. You can do numbers on the site. There's a couple ways to do this. It gets a little technical, but you can have a separate number for paid ads. Those get tracked. We can listen to the sales call. You can find out what's happening when people are calling and what is your sales staff saying, or your receptionist saying. Are they pleasant? Are they monotone? Are they not answering the right kind of questions? Are they engaging enough to get the sale? What's happening? Putting a CRM in place, some other tracking tool, track leads, right? We talked about where are they falling off, or you should have a pipeline of people as you move people through that process. You've made the call, they've agreed to the estimate, they signed the contract. Okay, now it's ready for the move. It's move day. We're transporting. I hope you had a great move. Fill out the review, right? There should be a journey that's moving along here. How are you tracking that? Repeating the accelerated growth model. Let's start out with what is driving your leads. These channels will drive leads. Your SEO, paid search, database, emails, convert those leads. You need a good website. You need very clear calls to action. You need to have a strategy in place to answer those calls. What are you going to do in the meantime when they called? Good reputation. And lastly, you need some automation in there so that you are for sure following up with everybody that has reached out to you, whether that's an email, a text, a phone call. And this is just that message, that very clear, image. Take a screenshot. This is the same. Drive your leads, maximize your conversion, and optimize that. How are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? That's that checklist I was telling you about. You should have that. If not, feel free to reach out. Be sure you get that. This is just a screenshot of what that looks like. I think I've added a little bit more in here too. I've thought about some other options. Right now, ask yourself, what are the top action items that need to occur now within the next 48 hours? What needs to happen? What are those top action items? Do you need to revamp your website? Do you need to revamp your paid ads? Do you need to put some follow-up systems and automate your sales calls? What do you need to do? Set a budget? I don't know. It's up to you. Okay, what we covered. Set clear goals for the year. Realign any of your KPIs and make sure you're tracking them. It's one thing to set the goals. It's a whole other thing to visually see those goals on a daily basis. Am I reaching it? Am I going to make it this? And month to month to month, look at those numbers. Map out your plan, budget, channels, important trends you got to be thinking about. One thing I found was a cool tool for the postcards is somebody comes to your website. We can track now if somebody has an address and we can automatically send an email to them. Kind of cool. Set up for massive. Let's get you set up for massive success in 2023 and beyond. Let's get you to 2025, 2030. Let's get you to the point where you're super happy with the business and you just keep taking it to the next level. Same concept here. Drive leads, maximize conversions, optimize those results. If you'd like, movingmarketingresults.com/schedule. Go to that webpage, schedule a call with me. We're going to do analysis of your online visibility. We'll do some custom keywords, see where you're at. Ranking reports, analysis of your online directory, whether it's consistent or not. Reviews, social presence, and whether or not your website is effective when it comes to conversion. And I do want to offer you a free photo shoot, Liz. I'm kind of proud of this. I don't see a lot of people doing this. It's one thing to tell you to take photos. It's a whole other thing to actually do it. So what I did is I prepared a really good, thorough checklist of all the different ideas of what you should take a picture of. And in that list, it breaks it down into the about us shots, list of things you could think about for about us shots, before shots, after shots, during shots. And I've just kind of broken it out like that. And I've had some really good on it. People like it. And if you go to that URL, which, that's really long. I'll have to figure out a way to shorten that up. But for you right now, go to that URL and get that list. Yeah, let's talk. Call me, leave a message, schedule some time, and see if we can help you get to that next level. Appreciate your time. I hope it was helpful. And I will see you at the next webinar. I think we'll be talking about local SEO in next month. Have a good one.